Hello everyone, this is Mini Ninjas. This is actually more of a brief breakdown update in this case, on account that I just noticed a handful of things and just wanted to clarify one issue that had come up earlier. Namely, the clarification I want to make is the reason why I haven't done just a simple part swap between Bootleg 1.0 and 2.0 of Android 18 here is, as I'm about to demonstrate with the heads, just because of the joining system the two figures tend to use, unfortunately they're not compatible. The one with the skin color tone is the 1.0, the one with the blue tone is 2.0, and as you can see they use a generally different set of joints for the most part. The 1.0 tend to use, although they're very fragile versions, they are closer to the original authentic figures, while the second one, the blue ones, use some sort of third-party one which don't quite line up. They're actually physically smaller at the ends, so unfortunately no, they aren't exactly a good fit with one another. The other thing, which is the actual update part of this one, is I noticed something interesting. On a lark, I decided to take off the vest from the 1.0 because I kind of wanted to see what it looked like on the back there. I had originally assumed that the upper torso was actually one piece and it was just kind of like a painted shirt on, but once I was able to separate the kind of the glue and the adhesion there, I kind of learned that the shirt part itself was a casted separate piece and the skin tone was also its own casted piece. And I've done a little work in advance here, but it turns out they're ultimately just pegged together. And the interesting part is when I actually went and separated the upper torso here, unfortunately I broke the pegs a bit in the meanwhile while I was doing that. As we can see here, there's actually a spot for a ball joint system in there, and there's subsequently also a ball joint peg setup that is on the upper torso here that is basically completely disabled because of the way everything is tabbed and glued together. That being said, they actually do fit in one another fairly decently, with a little effort of course, in order to push that in. Not only by separating them do you make it a little bit easier in order to actually force the torso together, which is a major problem with the 1.0. Another thing is you actually can enable a little bit of upper torso movement if you leave them separated like I have, which is a bit interesting. That actually gives the figure a little more flexibility than it had before, and also seems kind of necessary if you want to fix the torso issue, because normally the torso, everything kind of splits apart right at the waistline just because of how loose it is. I figure it's probably because of the way these have been reattached or attached in the first place. They don't actually force that little middle part that connects the waist to the upper torso well enough, so by pushing the extra force in order to really force it in there, it helps it make a better connection. This is a little more theory on my part, but I figure if you wanted to increase the connection a little better, you could actually do a little bit of a super glue mod on both ends, both the upper torso as well as the lower torso, on the ball joints themselves, in order to make it a bit of a tighter fit. Because while I'm putting it together here, I'm having a little trouble doing this on camera, mind you, but you can apply a little more force and it will actually cause everything to hold a lot better together, especially for the middle part. If I had the pegs for the upper part, that would work a little better to really hold it there. And yeah, just generally speaking, if you were to attach it to the various ballpoint junctures, it would definitely cause the figure to be a little bit better fit. And I'm actually thinking if you cut off the front part of there, you can even kind of recreate a front part of a shirt, or if you're doing a modification in another figure in this case, or want to change the costume or uniform there, that is definitely something that can be done here. And the last part of this little update video is a little recap and hopefully a spoiler of things to come if things go well. Namely, my attempts to remake the eye decals for these various bootleg figures seems to be going decently enough. I got my printer to cooperate just long enough to do a bit of a test print, finally, in color. And in terms of the scale, it seems I've just about nailed the scale here. So that means I'm able to now go into Illustrator and make a few more updates, namely expand on the Android 18 eye set, do a little more work with the D-Arts Mega Man X figure that's off on the side there. Just note, if it looks different, it's because I'm basing them off the slightly more detailed pre-production images that were originally shown. And if everything goes well, then this opens the room to update the figures, the bootleg figures, a little more, as well as also do some more custom work, which is probably why you're noticing there's something a little more green than you might be expecting in the middle of that page there. Let's just say if my initial tests go well, I'm going to probably test one of the X figures first. Android 18 in the background over there will probably not stay Android 18 much longer, but that'll be part of another video series if it goes well. For now, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all later.